It's a Rize. Do I make this? Of course I don't make that. Why would I make that? Thank you. Oh, yeah, Maury's mask. Shocker to no one. Should we DC 2? High ping? Yeah. You know what? Let's just take it. Should we? Fuck it. Pennybiter Rize. Okay.
April 2nd, 2025. The day Behavior released the Tokyo Ghoul chapter. With this chapter, we got a new killer with Kaneki. Alongside Kaneki, they had also released some skins for survivors including Hire, Eto, and the rabbit, or otherwise known as Toka. They also gave masks to Jonah, David, and Jake. As for the killer side of things, the Unknown got a Noro mask, Kaneki got an alternative outfit from when he was getting tortured in season 1, and the best skin of them all, a legendary skin for Kaneki, my beautiful Rize. If you played around this time, you will remember that Kaneki was insanely broken. Whether it was his insane hitbox after vaulting a pallet or the crazy auto-aim hits with his M2, he 100% needed balance changes, and thankfully they have toned down the vault hitbox and the crazy M2 auto-aim. Although I can't lie, I still get some, crazy hits from both of these, but that's besides the point. Another nerf they give Kaneki around this time is they made it so when he breaks a pallet, he loses a token so he cannot immediately catch up to you. I like this change, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I don't understand why Blight didn't get this treatment, but Behavior knows best. I think the overall consensus for this chapter, at least on Steam, from what I've seen, is literally mixed. You can see right here. But I've seen some crazy complaints, and I've seen somebody say that they just don't like his voice acting, which is, that has nothing to do with the killer. And then you have the other people who love the Tokyo Ghoul IP or just like this killer in general, who praise this chapter. I personally think it was an amazing adaptation from the voice lines to the visuals, but from what I've seen, most of the hate comes from the power design and just how easy Kaneki is. Which I'm not gonna lie and sit here and say that he's not easy, because he 100% is. I can play Singularity and I feel like I have to use all my brain power, but Kaneki I can just go on autopilot and get a 4K. Although it's very fun to play Kaneki, a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, hate going against him. Whether it's because of the free injury or because he can ignore some rules of the game like god palettes. And with that short introductory out the way, I would like to say that Kaneki is in a much healthier state right now. The only glaring issue that I think Behavior needs to take a look at is just his kidnap tech. This shit is not a tech, bro. This shit is an exploit. I never use it unless I do it accidentally, but hopefully Behavior takes a look at this and fixes it in the future. I wanted to make this video just to show how unjustified most of this hate is. Before I made Kaneki, I actually made Wesker, and I started making Kaneki around the end of the 9th year anniversary, so it hasn't even been that long. And in that short amount of time, I've gotten death threats, I've gotten people that literally attack me personally, and I've had people tell me that I should have been as a baby, and I'm not even sure I can say that on YouTube or show it. The amount of hate I get every game compared to other killers that I've played is just crazy to me. If this didn't happen so often, I wouldn't be making this video, but I just wanted to make this video to shed light that some of you guys take this game way too seriously and this killer is overrated. And look, I completely understand not wanting to go against certain killers. Like, I know people hate Clown, this fat, dumbass, bitch ass character. Some people hate Knight, and a lot of people hate Skull Merchant, especially, pre-nerf Skull Merchant. But immediately giving up is entirely something else, and I notice this the most with veteran players. I swear, the more hours you have on this game, the more miserable you are. Let's take a look at some other things that inspired me to also make this video. I am not a Redditor, before y'all say anything, but I do go on Reddit occasionally just to get some video ideas. I swear to God, every time I go into the subreddit, it's like a 10 out of 10 rage bait, so let's take a look. You have people like this who are self-aware and know that they mess up the game, not just for the killer, but for their teammates as well. They also know that there's Counterplay 2 Ghoul, but refuse to learn it and just call for nerfs. And that's how a lot of these people are. I know most people aren't like that, but a lot of people are. Then you have people like this who take this game way too seriously and attack people personally outside of the game. And it's so hypocritical because you'll call somebody a loser for playing a killer inside of the game, but then you'll literally attack them personally over a game. Like, who's the real loser here? Then you have people posting their clips of how they died at Kaneki in some BS ways, some not. But in a lot of these clips, there are counterplay. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like all the hate isn't warranted, because some of it is. I play Survivor from time to time and I actually have more hours in Survivor than I do Killer. And it is kind of annoying to go against Ghoul over and over and over. But the whole point of this video is to show that he's overhated. That was just taking a look at Reddit. Let's take a look at some on Twitter. I honestly don't think it's as bad as Reddit. People are hating on him, but it isn't people sending death threats or just calling out people personally outside of the game. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when I was getting some of these, screenshots for this video, they did make me laugh because they are kind of funny. But it does reinforce my point, the fact that he's just really hated. Now, what's the whole point of this video? I wanted to make this video to just show that you can hate killers. You can dislike playing against them. That's completely fine. What is not completely fine is telling somebody things like this, or things like this, or calling for the score merchant treatment. Listen, I understand wanting to get the kidnap tech fixed, but going this route is just a horrible decision. And I think the only realistic thing they need to do is just nerf this add-on and just fix the exploit. Now, some of you guys might be asking, oh, but how do I counter this? How do I counter that? And I'd actually like to show some of these. Okay, let's start off with the most problematic one, being the kidnap tech. There actually is a way to counter this, but it's just such a strong exploit that it's not always guaranteed to keep you alive. But I would like to show this. When vaulting a pallet or window, you want to not move. This will cause Kaneki to either put you into the deep wound state or just make it so you don't get, stuck in place. Another thing is, if you know that Kaneki is gonna vault over the pallet, what you can do is actually vault back into him, and it causes him to just stay in place. There are some uncounterable situations, but that's a thing for every killer in the game, and I think that's what people need to understand. One more complaint I forgot to mention is that people say that you need to heal against Kaneki because if he catches you injured out in the open or just out of position, you're dead. But I think this argument is flawed because this goes for any mobility killer in the game. Light, Nurse, Dracula, Wesker can all capitalize off of you being out of position and injured. I want to end this video on a positive note, and I want to start off by saying that if you main Ghoul and you get this hate, do not let it deter you from playing the character that you like playing inside of a video game. You're not doing anything wrong by playing a character you love. Just keep that in mind. I play Ghoul because I love the mobility and I love the IP he came from. I've read the manga and I watched the anime. Also, Riza is a baddie. Everybody has their own reasons. If you're easily affected by what other people say, I suggest you turn in-game chat off or just don't respond to messages if you're on console. I personally could care less if anybody's toxic to me. I always find it funny because it's just a game and they take this shit way too seriously. I met a lot of cool people when making this, and I just wanted to shout out this Twitch streamer. He admitted to hating the killer, but I went into his chat, I said GG's, and he was so chill. I suggest you guys go watch him. Before I left the video, I just needed to answer the question in my title. Is he overhated? Let's hear it from one of the best Ghoul players that I know.
You think Kaneki's overrated? I mean, of course I think that. There should be no levels of hate like this in a video game.
At first, I can understand the hate, it was warranted. But now that he's been nerfed and he's in a much healthier spot for the game right now, I feel like the hate is forced. It's kind of like the score merchant, how people hate her because of how she used to be. Go ahead and hate on Kaneki all you want. I could care less. Just don't bring it outside of the game. That's, something completely different. But anyways, if you're emo or all, hit me up. Jokes aside, thank you for watching the video. If you have any other video ideas that you want me to talk about or cover, let me know down below in the comments. And let me know your thoughts and opinions.